Bring back Mount Wizards of the Coast, you cowards.
Agreed, 100%. Here's a good a place to bring it up as any. We talked about Fine Steed and or was it Phantom Steed? Yes.
Phantom Steed recently.
And I said I don't like it because it's not a real horse, and you said get Fine Steed, but that's not a real horse either.
It's pretty freaking close.
Not close enough.
It's a spirit that assumes the form of a horse.
That's not a horse.
It's so close to a horse.
All right. That's not what this video is about. Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat, Mounted Combatant. Combatant, yes.
Combatant. You got it. Third time.
Third time's the charm.
This is a feat from PHP. It says you are dangerous. You are a dangerous foe to face while mounted. I don't know why that sentence really is hurting my brain. Anyway, while you are mounted and are incapacitated, you gain following benefits. So if you fall unconscious, you don't get these benefits anymore.
You advantage on melee attack. Horse.
Trying to
picture a different situation where you'd be mounted and incapacitated at the same time.
You are, I don't know, hit by a brick on the head while riding your horse. There, then you don't have to be tied to it.
Yeah, you fall off.
No, because you slump over it. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know. I'm not an expert of becoming intoxicated on a horse. So you have advantage on melee attack rolls against any unmounted creature that is smaller than your mount. That's the first line of text. Mm-hmm. You can force an attack targeted at your mount to target you instead. And if your mount is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw or to only take half damage, instead takes no damage if it succeeds the saving throw and half if it fails.
Yeah, this is one I've warmed up over the course of our time together.
Me too.
Yeah. I don't know why, but
it's the guy that keeps commenting about Feinstein. That's why.
No, it's not. No, it's not that. But I mean, that's sure, great.
Yeah,
this is definitely something. Fine Seed, Mounted Combatant. You want these together, sure. But no, for the longest time, I misread the first line.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was you have advantage on melee attack rolls against any unmounted creature that is smaller than you, and that's wrong. Yes, that makes such a big difference because a horse, your standard mount, is large.
Yes.
Yes, and attacking people from horseback, people are medium.
Correct. No, so, I will make. There's a small difference I will make. War horses are large, ponies are small. So if you're a halfling, you have a little bit of more of a rough time.
Right.
Camels are large though, so they work.
Yeah, I looked up the stats for riding horse before this video, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. But yeah, that's also large.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a large part of why I feel better about this.
It's true. I like this feat a lot conceptually. I do think there are little hiccups that happen with Mounted Combat in that, like, it's hard to visualize taking your horse into a crypt, right? Like, it's hard to visualize taking a large beast into tight enclosed dungeons, and in the environments where you can't bring it with you, this doesn't have text.
Well, no.
So that's a bummer. But
but that's not what it's for.
It's for doing Mounted Combat things, right? Yes. But like a feat like Great Weapon Master is always online. You always can attack with your greatsword. You can't really always attack from the back of your horse. No. And that is kind of relevant, right?
I mean, it's relevant from an objective power perspective, but for the fantasy of a person that wants to be the mounted combatant, I cannot say that word, combatant. Yes, sorry. I keep wanting to say competent. All right. Yeah, for the person with that fantasy, whether it be a horse or a dragon or whatever, then I think this delivers. I mean, yeah, I agree. You're not going to be able to take it into the dungeon, perhaps, or into the tavern, but I think you'll get enough use to not regret having taken the feat if it's enhancing your fantasy.
I definitely think if you're intending to play a character that it's goal is to maximize the effect of Find Steed and Find Greater Steed, this is the first feat you probably want because it has a really important line of text, and that is you can force an attack targeted at your mount to target you instead. That's
Same with
huge.
Drake Warden.
Yes, if you're intending to ride your companions, you want them to not take damage. You want to take that damage almost always because you usually have more hit points. Sometimes the Drake Warden is a
Actually,
little bit
maybe
different.
Drake Warden, yeah, because
Yeah,
you want them to take the damage.
yeah, you want to because you can just get them back for so cheap that it's not
Right.
really that much of a cost. But if you have like a Fine Steed, no, it's a 10-minute cast time ritual. You don't want to have to try and get that thing back up after combat or whatever. You might really consider just like I'm gonna direct because it's got 19 hit points these attacks to me, and then you got the benefits of having that super fast speed. You might be benefiting from letting it control itself because I got the Mounted Combat rules up, and you have the options to get the controller to let it act independently. And with Fine Steed and Fine Greater Steed, like it acting independently is kind of like it's also acting with you because you can like give it general commands and also follow them and make its attacks and stuff. But you still generally want to have at least the option to keep it up as long as possible. And this makes it really easy to keep it up. Doesn't even ask your reaction for it. You just redirect those attacks right back to you.
Yeah. Another neat thing about this is that it scales not with you or your level or anything, but with the size of your mount. So
Yeah.
like for a Drake Warden, um, once your dragon gets to uh what's after large,
It's huge, right?
something like that.
I don't
Anyways,
think Drake Wardens get bigger than that, but we can find out.
do they not?
I don't think so. I think they go to
Oh,
large. I think medium is the mid-sized one. Maybe I'm wrong.
okay.
Perfected Bond. The Drake
Oh,
gains
that's
falling
right, because you
benefits.
can
It
ride
becomes
it.
large.
Yeah, you can ride it on the ground while it's medium. All
Mhm.
right, maybe that's why. All right, that's what it was. I wasn't so keen on this for Drake Warden because when you start getting it, being able to ride it, it's medium, and that doesn't really help you a whole lot unless you're
No.
fighting tiny babies or something.
It also doesn't help this is medium or melee attack rolls, so Drake Wardens want to be flying around on their dragon, raining hell
Yeah,
from above with them, and
yeah,
when it becomes large, the attack rolls with advantage aren't great. Specifically on Drake Warden, maybe not. It may not be the sauce. On most paladins, on most mounted combatant fighters, if they exist, on mounted combatant bards, where you are taking great, like you're a swords bard with Fine Steed as your second level spell, you can get this to come online really fast in bard thanks to magical secrets. Like you could do some cool things. I guess level 11 isn't really that early, but it gives you Find Greater Steed then, which could still be great. Side tangent
yeah,
aside, any character that has a large horse wants this, right? I want this with a rhino personally because I think rhinos are the coolest of the Find Greater Steed options because it's a freaking rhino. But you can also get like a saber tiger. Those things are pretty big. You can get a griffin. Those things are large. All the large forms are going to be great. They're going to give you advantage on attack rolls against medium or smaller things. That's most things in the
yeah,
mid to low tiers. I will say as you get into the upper tiers, that's less things, but you'll still have an ample amount of free advantages for your attack rolls because of this, while also having the real main boon to me, which is I can keep my 40 hit point mount alive from the 60 or the 20d6 claw attacks that are coming
right.
at it. I can let my AC matter instead of it's 13 AC, right? It's my 20 AC if I'm a paladin, 24 AC if I'm a paladin.
Let me ask you about that third bullet point there. All
Mm-hmm.
right, if your mount is subjected to an area that allows it to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, it takes instead no damage. So that's what about the
Evasion, I think, is
rider?
the word.
Yeah, does that count for the rider as well?
Nope,
Oh, that
not even a little bit. You still take the damage as normal based on the saving throw.
that seems counterintuitive.
Yep. The mounted combatant rules aren't great.
All right.
Mounted combat is a little bit of a mess in this game. I get why, because you're two separate creatures acting in tandem. Uh, so I don't love it, but I don't
Eh,
think
still, I mean, it's nice. Your horse doesn't have to. Your your horse isn't like super expendable, like the horses in my books.
yeah, because you don't have mount or whatever that spell is.
Yep.
Bring back mount, Wizards of the Coast, you cowards.
Agreed, 100%. Yeah, here's a good a place to bring it up as any. We talked about Fine Steed and or was it Phantom Steed?
Phantom
Yes,
Seed recently.
and I said I don't like it because it's not a real horse, and you said get Fine Steed, but that's not a real horse either.
It's pretty freaking close.
Not close enough.
It's a spirit that assumes the form of a
That's
horse.
not a horse.
It's so close to a horse.
All right, that's not what this video is about.
Okay.
I've said my piece.
All right, sure. Okay, sure. We'll make Mount or something one day, or we'll petition Wizards with a very 15 people will sign it, and we'll bring Mount into 5th edition.
Just horse. There's a
Just
horse.
horse, not
That's
even
easy.
Mount, just horse.
No. That it's called mount because
Okay.
you can make an innuendo there. But yeah, the
That's an important
incantation
element
is
of the spell.
yes,
Is you can make an innuendo there.
yes. But the incantation is horse.
I guess.
Yes.
I'm gonna give this all 3 out of 5. I think characters that want it will genuinely benefit from having it, but I do think its limitations in both the advantage and in when you can use it make it a little bit more fickle than it might look. I do think you can have a lot of fun with it. If you want to play the Mounted Combatant character, I do think this helps you a lot. And you probably almost need this if you want Mounted Combatant to, like, a Mounted Combat character to work. Because if your horse dies from taking 19 damage or to a stray fireball, you're like, well,
Yeah.
there goes my whole plan. So
Yeah, it does a lot. It gives you advantage a lot of the times when you wouldn't otherwise have it. It gives you tools to keep your mount alive, which can be very important. And yeah, it's a lot better than I had given it credit for a long time. So
yeah,
yeah,
cool.
3 out of 5 sounds good. All right, that was Mounted Combatant. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments, and like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.